For goodness sake, Pixar and Disney, I mean, I love you, I grew up with you, you're the bomb, and I use the bomb rarely. You are the bomb, grew up with your movies, you've made me the responsible, mature person I am today, as you clearly know, but why do you have to give us Finding Dory a month later? You do know, in that 1 month of time, you know, when you give America and I believe most of the world Finding Dory at the end of June, we had to wait all the way up to now, the end of July, even though it's August now, it's the 3rd of August, because, well, it's 1 in the morning, so yes, it's the 3rd of August. You know, in that amount of time, how America's just been taking the mick out of us and trying to prank us, saying Dory died, and that's pretty much it. They keep saying that Dory died, and everyone here was just saying, I don't think Pixar would kill off Dory. That'll be a bit morbid, and that'll probably traumatize the kid. But I mean, heck, I made a video on this channel a while ago, very poorly made. I mean, I think I got my gag across, but it was not very well edited, and that was a non-activated version of that bloody program, so now I'm kind of stuck with Windows Movie Maker until maybe I find another option. But I expressed my frustration that I had to wait for Inside Out. I can't remember how long. I think it was like 2 months. A movie that everyone was buzzing about, saying it's probably the greatest Pixar film. How it's genius and smart and clever, which it was. Heck, I had a poster of it up there. I have the Blu-ray of it. Probably like in my top 3 of the Pixar films because it's so good just to make me laugh out loud. But it's clever and amazing, and apparently doctors use it, which is pretty darn cool. But it was immensely frustrating that I had to wait so long just to see it for some odd reason. I'm sure if I look up, there's some reason, like, I don't know, this is how it works. Maybe I'm complaining for no reason. This is just how releasing schedule works, and there's nothing they can do about it. Or maybe they just hate us. Disney and Pixar, they probably hate us. That's probably it's a theory, but just admit it's probably the fact. Probably the fact. But yeah, I thought I'd just start out by saying, I mean, like, I think we got the Good Dinosaur like around the time, but for Inside Out and Finding Dory, 2 films that everyone was buzzing about, everyone saying is awesome and lovely and sweet and stuff like that, and then we have like America pranking us about it, and like us just waiting for it until now we can finally see it. Hooray! Even though everyone, you know, just talked about it a month ago, and now it's kind of died down. But now we're gonna go, yay! This movie's great about here. But come on, can you just do us a solid? Because I'm just saying, it's probably something to do with releasing schedule, but it's pretty fishy. Okay, that's 1 down. Okay, let's just tick this box here. Okay then, let's move on. Okay then, good day fellow cinema nerds and movie geeks of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews. Just thought I'll get that off my chest because, I mean, I'll just tell you right now, I had a good time with this movie, but it's a bit annoying how, for some odd reason, probably a legitimate, you know, understandable reason, that's not just they actually hate us, that was kind of a joke, but you know, how we have to wait so long and everyone was buzzing about it and they say, yay, I'm sure it's good, but we can't see it yet. But anywho, yes, if I'm in a different spot than usual, if this is the first video you watched of mine, then this is all new to you anyway. But you know, I just saw that and I have a lava lamp there and kind of appealing. I mean, all my DVDs are like right behind me, but I think, you know, the fact that nice colours, I think you know, it's photogenic enough, and that you've already seen Matt Damon's face behind me. I have a Matt Martian poster there. I've had it for so long, I'm sure it's gotten old. But okay, Finding Dory. I actually have a few notes here. So let's get started. But before that, I'm going to give a bit of my backstory on the previous one, Finding Nemo, because I mean, like, it's normally easy because almost every single film I see is based off something. I mean, heck, even with The Secret Life of Pets, I talked about my experience with the Illumination movies. Illumination? Yeah, That's what it's called. Just realised, maybe soon I'm going to have like a title sequence so it doesn't just fade in and me saying that. Heck, I didn't say it. But anyway, whatever number I said has gone down now. Because that was a minus of, and anywho, there's another one. So, Finding Nemo. I grew up, I was born in 1999, so I was a 2000s kid technically. No, not what the people said. I was born in 1999, so I'm a 90s kid. I know what a Game Boy is. I never touched a Game Boy. I know what a Game Boy is though. I was more of a PlayStation 2 kid, myself. Yes, back in the olden days when Lincoln was on a penny. But it goes way off track. But Finding Nemo, I grew up on many. I grew like I know everybody else on a planet really. Well, I don't think everybody. I don't think certain places in the world people even have TVs or DVDs or even know what a Pixar or Disney is, but which is sad. But a lot of people have grew up on Disney. Yes, I grew up on Disney, many Disney films, obviously Beauty and the Beast, the works, bits and bobs, and the whole charade. But Pixar, I grew up on a lot of Pixar, and when I say a lot, I mean I watched Toy Story and Toy Story 2 many times. Apparently, my mum and dad said I just kept putting the VHS of Toy Story and Toy Story 2 in over and over and over again, and I'd say and I think that's true because when I watched the first Toy Story a while ago, I realised pretty much every single sound effect and piece of dialogue was drilled into my head. I can't say it off by heart, but it was drilled in my head, so it all sounded such bliss and such familiarity and reminiscence, and it was nice. And apparently, I think I have a picture of me dressed up as Buzz Lightyear. I don't have it with me. I probably wouldn't show you anyway. Sorry, I don't know you like that yet. But I grew up on a lot of Pixar, and yes, I grew up on Ratatouille, and what else? I grew up on Ratatouille, Toy Story films, Cars, Monsters Inc. And it was like the until like Deano 2010. Those are the films I really grew up with. Even though I saw Toy Story 3 in cinemas, those were the films I really grew up with. The Pixar films. Grew up on a lot of films, Mary Poppins, Choo Choo Bang Bang, but it was a lot of Pixar. Me seeing Toy Stories many times it probably counts for growing up a lot on Pixar. And Finding Nemo, of course, I grew up on that as well. I don't have the DVD with me. I would show it anyway because some odd reason I just showed the DVD here, I have it. Isn't that grand? But Finding Nemo, I remember it was an amazing film and who could forget the sharks and the jellyfish and Dory, which now has her own film. Congratulations, Dory. And the dad trying to find the son, and all the fish, and there was also some fish like the one with the scar, and the purple one, and the starfish, and the pufferfish, and so on and so forth, and the kind of morbid ending when they all out the window in the plastic bags, and I'm like, now what? Even though the pufferfish has spikes on him, so I'm sure if he just inflated, then it would have broke, and I don't know. And I don't know if they just wanted to get in the water or go somewhere, but that could have been something. But anywho, people say that aren't they going to starve to death? Maybe it's all in imagination. But moving swiftly on to the actual film, that was kind of relevant because it was Finding Nemo, and this is Finding Dory. But yes, Finding Nemo, grew up on that. Also, and the Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles type turtle and lots of stuff that's imagery is kind of in my head now, and obviously that beyond the sea, I know I can't do it. I can't barely remember the words anyway. Now, unfortunately, wasn't in this film. I was kind of hoping they put that in it, because there's a lot of references to Finding Nemo. A lot of references, characters, just supporting characters. But oddly enough, not for nostalgia's sake, they didn't put that in there because that kind of stuck in my head as well. Along with You Got Offended Me, Pixar's greatest hits, not movies. I mean the songs, but they put a Sia song in there instead, which made me like, oh no, they're trying to modernise it. It's not that bad. I mean, I don't think it matches all that well but it's an okay song. At least they didn't go all out and just had Nene and oh god. So that was terrifying. I'm just thinking of that. But Finding Dory, I made some notes here. Yesterday, well, not yesterday, now the day before yesterday, when I reviewed the film Jason Bourne, and I said tomorrow, I'm going to watch Finding Dory. It's kind of ironic because both characters have memory loss. If you don't know who Jason Bourne is, it's films about this guy who has severe amnesia and finding out more about himself, like being an assassin and such and such. And now I watched a film about a fish who has amnesia. Well, not amnesia. No, that was amnesia. This is short-term memory loss. Memory type stuff is happening here. And weirdly enough, in the Bourne films and in this film, she has straight up flashbacks, like Vietnam flashbacks, like, oh my god. And, you know, all involves a family, you know that from the trailer, but, if you've seen the trailer, I assume you have. Sorry, I'm just assuming things about you. How dare I? But she like Bourne, she has straight up flashbacks to just like her family. And she even had like on her face she's like. So I'm sure like Marla just talking to her, all of a sudden she's like, what's the matter with you? I just had a flashback. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Not that it wasn't like that hokey though. Oh my gosh, I'm remembering. It wasn't that bad. Wasn't bad at all actually, but it wasn't that hokey. And I also put, if you're a Whovian, you would get this. Because of a short-term memory loss, it felt like she saw a silence from Doctor Who, and at any moment she was going to turn around because she was like her sign was facing the screen. She turned around, there's a bunch of black marks on her because she saw the silence and she's forgetting it. No, if you're a Whovian, well done. If not, but watch it. It's a great show. I recommend. No, we're not going into that. I'll be here for a while. But yes, it felt like she kept seeing the silence because she kept forgetting stuff. Heck, it felt like in X-Men 2 when like Wolverine was having flashbacks to his the Weapon X experiment. I just went from a talking blue fish voiced by Ellen DeGeneres to films about a guy with knives coming out of his hands. Only here when I wear a t-shirt that was renamed Zootropolis because apparently they didn't think British people would understand Zootopia, and I bet some Pixar hardcore fans hate me right now because this isn't even a Pixar film. It's a Walt Disney animated film who also made Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen. Yes, I didn't just go like, ooh, it got Disney on it. Oh, and by the way, I won this t-shirt, so if you want to follow Disney on Twitter and Facebook, you could do so here. Yeah, you got it? You got it? Okay, I'm a walking brand deal. Okay, moving on. They paid some money. They paid some good money. Got at least 3 packets of raisins. It's some good cash. But by the way, when I was going through the film in my head, like, okay, what I don't want to just steal points from reviewers, even though sometimes I watch a review, but like, okay, actually, I agree with that, but I just couldn't think of it, so I included it anyway. But when I was going through it, I was thinking, I was thinking, wait, is it the same voice actor for Nemo in this film and the last film? Because it can't be. I look it up, and then I realised that Finding Nemo came out in 2003, and it's been 13 years later. That's longer than after they made like Alice in Wonderland in 2009 and they made the sequel in 2016. That's a long ass time. Pardon my language, long ass time. But it's a very long ass. Ugh. Sorry, that's a weird image. I'm never gonna imagine that again. Oh no. But 13 years later, that's a long time. I mean, like, heck, I think Monsters University didn't come out like that. I think it was more like 10 years, but not 13 years. They waited a while. I don't know if they planned this, but they waited a while. But like when I first heard of this movie coming out, I was more frustrated at the fact that looking at all Pixar's upcoming films, most of which were sequels. Actually, I think all of the films that they said were coming out were sequels. I was like, I'm cool with Incredibles 2 because I loved Incredibles. I had action figures. I had the game where it was 2-player on PS2, you play as Frozone, Mr. Incredible, and I was Frozone because I love Frozone. He was awesome. He was basically like Iceman, but for Pixar, and he was Samuel L. Jackson. I got way too over the top for that. He was in Pulp Fiction. He was in Pixar, but I grew up on Incredibles a lot. Heck, I was like just my mum's brother, so I was just like waiting by the window, waiting for him to come to my house because I knew he was going to get me a DVD copy of the Incredibles, which I do have, which I still have, and it was 2 discs and had so many special features. It was amazing. Now I'm going to go get it, and no, I'm not talking about that, but I was mostly frustrated with them making a Toy Story 4 because like it was a trilogy, ended perfectly. Apparently it's a love story. What's the point? Just let it be, because I know if it comes out I'm gonna Toy Story and you got offended me and I'm gonna see it, and it's drawing us back in. Just why can't they end it? I'm fine with them making short films, but Finding Dory, I'm like, I don't really know how they're gonna make a whole movie just about her forgetting stuff. Like, I don't really know where they're gonna go with it, but it turned out good. I mean, I was like, is it kind of just a cash grab? But no, there's a lot of heart and soul put in this. Every Pixar film, because they got it down. And this film apparently made a lot of money in America, like a lot of money. Like the #1 animated something of the decade, I can't remember, but a lot of money. But no, it was actually a different guy from Nemo, which, doesn't really surprise me, because, this is meant to be a year on from finding Nemo, and he's meant to be, he's meant to be still very young, so they couldn't just bring him in like how they got the guy who played Andy in Toy Story 1 and 2, and because he sounds a lot different now since it was many years after they made Toy Story 2 and Andy was going to college, they couldn't, and because his voice so much matched someone who's going into college, they couldn't do that, but Nemo was the same age, so they couldn't do it like that, so they had to get someone else. But I looked up and he actually makes a cameo in the film towards the end, the guy who voiced Nemo. So good, at least they paid their respects. Some films wouldn't do that, like in Independence Day Resurgence, where they couldn't just get the same girl who played the president's daughter. Beats me. Maybe she wasn't pretty enough. Shut up. That wasn't me telling myself to shut up like I was some schizophrenia, Deadpool style. No, that was me telling the filmmakers, because if that's the reason, screw you. Yes. But still, obviously, now they made this film, they're going to make a Finding Marlin. He's going to get lost, and then Nemo's going to get frustrated with Dory. There's like a buddy cop type thing, like, oh my gosh, you're forgetting stuff, and like, I'm sorry, and Nemo has to, he's very young, he has to play the big guy, or maybe this years later, and like, Nemo's like super buff now. But still, maybe soon they'll make other films starring supporting characters. Frozone the movie, make that, I would watch that. Like to know what the tagline would be? I was so proud when I made this. Honey, where's my feature film? I said, where's my feature film? That was good for me. I want that to happen. If you make that, dodgy finger, I'm serious. Make that, because that would be the best tagline in the world ever. I'm giving you that for free. I mean, you're walking brand deal enough, so at least do me that solid. I don't even say do me that solid. I don't know where this is saying that is coming from. But still, this film, in the aspect of like Dory finding her family, which I don't really think is a spoiler, at least I hope not. It's in like the synopsis, but in the trailer I think it gives it away. But they got to say something that's going to happen, because I was curious enough. Like, how are they going to make an hour and a half film about a fish who forgets stuff? Isn't that going to be kind of bad? Like okay, time to do this mission. I forgot. But I'm sure there's many children's films about characters who need to find something and they learn a lesson on the way. But to me, the first thing that came to my mind was a film I also watched a lot on VHS, and I also grew up on, was the Tigger movie. Yeah, I did it again, where I say the film and then I just magically out of nowhere, like, yes, I own this on DVD. Like what's next? I could just say, the Evil Dead trilogy, featuring Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, directed by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. But yes, but in the Tigger movie, which ended quite differently because if that you can hear snoring, that's my cat directly behind this laptop because this is on the corner of my bed. Probably not the best spot, but considering Tigger, I recommend watching the Tigger movie. It's nice, but it got a great song where the guy sang the theme song to Footloose. But considering Tigger's goal in that film, which was to find his family, it ends quite differently. Quite differently than what happens to Dory finding her family in this film. I'm not going to say anything, but they both have the same. They both include the same thing of like, we're a family, like, considering his friends and stuff like that. They both have that it's a very good message, which I'm sure maybe some kids can relate to, like Anu don't have parents but have very good friends, so I'm sure that not like flesh and blood, but like your friends, like they're your family. We're family. I heard Vin Diesel says that in the Fast and Furious films, but the Tigger movie, Finding Dory, both made by Disney, and they're both good. They both have talking animals, finding family, both end differently, but they both say you got your family, your friends are your family, everything's good, your friends are family, your family. I could go so many places with that, but I'm not. I just spat. If you were going to comment it, I said it. And by the way, apparently there was a controversy when the trailer was released of this film. There's a controversy that they showed a part in the trailer that's in the film where lesbians or maybe female friends who are just like out walking one of their children, not as in like they have multiple children, but one of them has a child and the friend is walking with that mother who is with her child, but it could be seen as that, but it's most likely they were lesbians, and she turns round and like sees the Hank, the octopus or septopus or whatever she said, because like he doesn't have an arm. Well, he lost an arm. You can't really tell because he has a lot of arms. He has 500 arms, but and she turns around like the squid and the octopus or whatever it's called. It pretended to be a baby, and apparently there was controversy with this. Who cares? 2016, Pride and all that. Who really gives a crap? I'm talking about focus on if the film is good and if you think it's going to be good. It's a bit like when I watched Star Trek Beyond, Sulu was gay. Okay then, good to know. Thank you for giving me that information. That doesn't really affect my verdict on the film. I don't care. I move on. I don't make a big deal out of it. Like, oh my gosh, we are so progressive now. We got lesbians in Pixar films. Cool. Let's move on. No need to make a big deal out of it. But social justice hullabaloo. I don't get. I'm talking about talking fish here. Serious stuff. Okay. By the way, might I just say, Baby Dory is possibly the cutest thing I've ever seen, ever, like in history of evers. Like. By the way, this must be I need to emphasize that more. Baby Dory is the cutest thing ever. Her voice, her massive eyes that take up most of her face. It's so cute. Okay, so cute. Like you know Madagascar, that little squirrel type thing with huge eyes and Puss in Boots with its cute face. Nah, get that out of the way. This is cute. Okay. Dodgy finger emphasizes cuteness. T-shirt, put on. Sorry, my ego is going through your screen and punching you in the face. I apologize. But by the way, this is a new Pixar film thing because not only in this movie, but in The Good Dinosaur, which the poster is up there. It's right there. That's my ceiling. Moving on. Is this a new Pixar film thing? Because here, The Good Dinosaur and Inside Out, the film began with the main character being shown as a baby. It must be a new thing. Like Riley, then I believe Milo was the name of the Good Dinosaur. And now here, just film starts off, count as a child. But anywho, by the way, so I should also mention some of my favourite characters here. It's probably, I can't decide because my favourite characters, the ones I'm deciding between, they're all supporting characters, because the supporting characters here are awesome and funny. By the way, unlike Secret Life of Pets, I love this movie's humour because it has ridiculousness and just some quite clever gags, and because it's Pixar, I mean, yeah, just Pixar films that like people may not really find funny whatsoever. Maybe a slight chuckle. I laughed out loud quite a bit here. Maybe my brain just wanted to be like the cool kids and just laugh along with the rest of the audience. But I found a lot of stuff funny, especially that the seals barking at that poor seal, Gerard, whatever his name was. He was one of my favourite characters. Why? Because he made that dumb face, and that makes me decide like either he's my favourite character or not between some others. Just that him doing that dumb face, I just love it. I love it so much. I love it. You feel the passion? I love it so much. There's either Hank, the septopus, octopus, squid, bloody kangaroo, I don't know. Because he was cool. He was pretty cool. He was cranky, but he was sweet. That seal guy and that weird bloody bird. If you've seen the film, yeah, there's a weird bloody bird in the trailer. Marlon points out how he's eating a cup. I love him. By the way, two of these characters that I'm debating, like between like them two and Hank, if they're my favourite characters, two of them don't speak. That shows a lot. Just maybe people at theatres can study it because like mime and there's an example of mime. There you go. I didn't just do that randomly, and now I just realised that. It's a bit like how probably my favourite character in the Lego movie. It's kind of hard to decide, but my favourite character is probably the spaceship guy. I know we did just shout spaceship, I want to build a spaceship. When there was Batman, I chose the spaceship guy. But when I say this movie was really funny, it is really funny, but when it comes to Dory, and her pretty much, you gotta be honest, the only source of her humour is memory loss jokes, and her forgetting stuff. Those jokes being made over and over and over again, and her saying so many times, "Oh, memory loss," and "Oh my gosh, you said that like 50 times," and yes, I get it, and like 5 seconds later she said, "What are we talking about? Who are you?" It can get kind of old. I'm scrolling down my notes. And also, might I just say, her memory loss can be kind of inconsistent. She could just forget a topic in 5 seconds, like and then 5 seconds later, what are we talking about? But then like other stuff that she someone told her a while ago, much earlier in the film, she could still remember. And by the way, if you ever see, I would recommend watching a game. Actually, no. If you ever heard of it, there's a YouTube channel called Game Theory and Film Theory. They do theories about games and films, kind of self-explanatory, and they do one about Dory possibly being a liar about her memory loss. I'm sorry if the lights are distracting you. Better than my face, but if you want to have that perfect, sweet, kind, just heartwarming image of Dory stay in your head, I wouldn't don't watch them, because it pretty much proves Dory's a bit of a liar, and I could never see Dory the same way again. So I was like, yeah, but that doesn't make sense in the previous film. You're a liar. I'll forgive you, Dory. You're cool. You can hang with me and my squad of my cat. We walk the halls, the one singular hole in our house. We don't own the house. But moment of uncomfortable silence, and then we go on. That's how it works here. Like I said, the supporting characters are the best, and the animation is Pixar. It is beautiful. The textures, the water effects, it's so good. Yes, you have these cartoony looking ocean creatures here, but just their textures of Hank and fish, and it's all good. But the environment, the sun glistening off the water, and the water moving, and the splashes, and the buildings, and the fault, and the grass, and just the sky and lighting. Yes, it has the classic Pixar designs here, but I think my cat is scratching himself. or hitting himself in the face with his foot. I don't really know how it works, but I know exactly how it works, but I'm not going to go into cat biology here. But since The Good Dinosaur, when people, concerning The Good Dinosaur, like in the animation department, people say, yeah, I mean, like, yes, they're cartoony looking dinosaurs, they don't really fit this environment, even though I don't really think realistic looking dinosaurs would be as pretty and, you know, sell it as a Pixar film. Even though I think they could do some pretty good, convincing, realistic looking dinosaurs, people always praise the animation of the environment, how real and not photogenic, but like just realistic. Like for moments it seemed like they literally just filmed it like in real life, like the environments were, and the ocean and the sky and the forest and the rain effects and the weather effects more specifically in general, and it's still, maybe it's improved upon here, because even though it's not like in the forest and the mountains and the waterfalls and stuff like that, it's like the ocean and like a actual, what do you call it, like a aquarium, that's what it's called. It looks amazing. The animation is simply superb, but it's Disney with Pixar. Me just saying that is not really surprising anymore. Just like, oh yeah, this is good. Oh, the animation is good, but you can already guess that. Moving on. It's not. Don't worry, they didn't just like go animate with PowerPoint and Microsoft Paint. Don't worry, you no worries. The trailers were a lie. You just go in and just like a picture of Dory going like, hello. That's a picture. The image of Dory's just doing this. But yeah, realistic looking environments. By the way, Sigourney Weaver plays a part in this movie, and I love it. No, Sigourney Weaver, the way they use her in this film, I just love it. Especially when her voice just pops up and Dory reacting to it. Superb. Because I don't really think I don't really think they would have made that joke in like 2003, but I just in Finding Nemo, but I like it. Oh, and also the moral of the film is a good message. It's probably used a lot. I'm not going to spoil it, but like, you know, when you get the gist of, you know, the moral and the message of the film, like when it ends. But it's a good message, used a lot, but you know, it's a good message anyway. And also, it took a while to finish. This is the flaw. It took a while to finish. Like, I'm like, is it gonna end here? Okay, now here. Okay, and now it ends. And it took a while to finish, which I already just said. Don't worry, what you think. I know what you're thinking. Perfect hair. You don't need to say. Narcissist much, which I'm not. What am I talking about? Oh, and by the way, this film also ends with animals driving a vehicle of some sort, just like the climax of Secret Life of Pets, which is the last animated film I've seen. Weird. Got nothing to say about that. Just coincidence. It's a conspiracy now. Now, anyway, moving on. Man, what my hands? What are they doing? And obviously because it's a Pixar film, it has its moments of like, you know, heart and, you know, hit you in the feels. I was tearing up more in The Good Dinosaur, and that was more like a Simba and Mufasa type thing. But I didn't tear up really, but there were moments of genuine sympathy and sweetness and stuff like that. Obviously, like, you know, just hearing the plot, you know that would happen at some point. And even another part with Marlon saying to Dory how much he appreciates her, and that was lovely as well. It was all nice. It's a bit like, you know, I adored the BFG so much. Just moments of heartwarming and just beautiful type stuff. And Ellen DeGeneres, the original, apart from me, pretty much all of the original cast is back. They're all still good. I'm surprised, like 13 years later, they still pretty much sound the same. I know Nemo wouldn't. I'm sure the girl who voiced Boo in Monsters Inc., I'm sure she sounds quite different now. And now I assume she doesn't just keep making baby noises in her adulthood. But Ellen DeGeneres, she's not the best voice actress in the world, but she's still Dory. She still does it. She's still like that's like the moment when she's happy and Dory's sad. She works well with it, even though like it's weird like to get out of her head that like she has her own talk show and now she's doing Dory again, doing this voiceover work. I don't know what other acting type thing she's done, but she's Dory. Bloody Dory. But, wait, I'm just reading my notes, so I'm trying to remember what I wrote here. Okay. I'm just going to read. I made a note here. I'm just trying to remember what it says. Seriously, thought it was going to go well. Okay, I thought towards the end, concerning Dory's family, I actually did think it was going to go one way, but I had my doubts. But luckily, because if it actually went that way, it wouldn't been so great, and I'm sure kind of leave a bit sad. But it all turned out good. Again, no spoilers. I'm sorry if this is giving much away. And that may sound sarcastic, but I normally sound sarcastic genuinely. And like I said earlier, I love the references to the original, a lot of the characters and stuff like that. Just bring back some good times. And even at the beginning, it even reenacts a scene from the original, even though I swear they left out like a piece of dialogue. But anywho, 40 minutes now. But there you go. Overall thoughts. It was good. It was quite good. Sure, I'm sure some people are gonna. I'm gonna watch reviews and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! That's this, and this." And if you don't think it's any less than, if you think it's even decent, and you're not saying it's the best thing you've ever seen in your life, you're a piece of garbage. You're scum, and I hate you. Well, I'm sure I'm not gonna watch any reviews like that. But maybe they're probably gonna watch some reviews that are gonna make me feel like, oh, maybe I should have said it was actually amazing or something like that. But walking away, just, it was sweet and lovely, and it's a sequel to a film I grew up on. So not only the nostalgia, it got the nostalgia going. Also great to just see a Pixar film again and a Disney film, and these classic characters referencing the old stuff with some new stuff, and did the new stuff really well because the supporting characters were good. I say there's a reason for this being here, not just tacked on, half-assed. But I don't know, unlike Toy Story 4, which I just kind of don't want to happen. I'm sure it could be a bit amazing, but I just kind of don't want it to happen. Because I just want to... Toy Story 3, leave it. But here, it goes forward, and it does well. Maybe they'll make a third one. Maybe they will do Finding Marlin, which I think is kind of taking a mick if they do that. But... the new stuff is good, and the animation is superb, obviously. And, yeah, by the way, there was a short. It's a Pixar film, so there was a short at the beginning. Also cute as hell, and it also made me think, wait, did they film that? No, it also tricks your mind with the amazing environmental animation, and also the birds. It's about birds. They look somewhat realistic, so it's kind of close to looking like something David Attenborough is going to go here are some animals, they are now not doing stuff, because if I said the stuff, then that was spoiling this incredible, lovely short, because this film only came out 5 days ago, so don't want to say much now. But it's not like a Marvel film. But still, I don't even want to say the slightest spoiler. I probably spoiled a lot. I'm sorry. It was quite good. How would I rate it out of 10? Maybe a 7, going on an 8. Sure, sorry, it's not an 11 out of 10, like some people may think. And do I rather to the original? They go hand in hand. It's Finding Nemo, Finding Dory. Even though it's more like a trio, so now they're going well, now we have to do Finding Marlin, and then finding that white and black Scarface dude. They also do. Actually, no, I'm not going to say anything. Just wait till the very end. There's an after credit scene. Just wait. Okay, if you take anything from this, if you've gotten this far, wait till the very end, because when I waited till the very end, we're the only ones there. Because I saw my mum and sister. So just saying. I'm sure some people's expectation may not be so high, oh, it's Finding Dory, okay. It's quite good. You have a lovely time. I can't really imagine really anyone hating it, unless, I know, you're a bit miserable. Sorry. And you're looking for some Oscar piece. But, man, I think Inside Out the most Oscar worthy. I think, did it win an Oscar? Probably did. But there you go. Instead of rambling on, it's quite good. Almost pretty good, and it's Dory, and it's funny, and it's lovely, and it's sweet. Animation superb. Characters still just pretty nice, really nice. And and also if you wanted to hear more of that whale talk, is in here. It's glorious. But yeah, you've been watching. I almost messed up. You've been watching Deano Reviews, another screen watcher like you, and I'm now gonna go find. I'm gonna find that Dory, because gotta go find Dory. I'm gonna go find some Dory. Yeah.